Shalom, and welcome back to the Cepher Daily Readings. Thank you for stopping by to follow along. I am Trish. All praise and glory to the Most High Yah Yahuwah, in the name of the Son, Yahusha HaMashiach. Thank you. May this be an honor to our Father, and may it be a blessing to you. We are in Jasher, Yashar, chapter 21. And it was at that time, at the end of 1 year and 4 months of Abraham's dwelling in the land of the Pelishtim in Gerar, that Elohim visited Sarah. And Yahuwah remembered her, and she conceived and bore a son to Abraham. And Abraham called the name of the son, which was born to him, which Sarah bore to him, Yitzhak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yitzhak at 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded Abraham to do unto his seed after him. And Abraham was 100 and Sarah 90 years old, when Yitzhak was born to them. And the child grew up, and he was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast upon the day that Yitzhak was weaned. And Shem and Eber and all the great people of the land, and Abimelech, king of the Pelishtim, and his servants, and Pikol, the captain of his host, came to eat and drink and rejoice at the feast which Abraham made upon the day of his son Yitzhak's being weaned. Also Terach, the father of Abraham, and Nachor, his brother, came from Haran, they all belonging to them, for they greatly rejoiced on hearing that a son had been born to Sarah. And they came to Abraham, and they ate and drank at the feast which Abraham made upon the day of Yitzhak's being weaned. And Terach and Nahor rejoiced with Abraham, and they remained with him many days in the land of the Pelishtim. At that time Serug, the son of Reu, died, in the 1st year of the birth of Yitzhak, son of Abraham. And all the days of Serug were 239 years, and he died. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, grew up in those days. He was 14 years old when Sarah bore Yitzhak to Abraham. And Elohim was with Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and he grew up. And he learned to use the bow and became an archer. And when Yitzhak was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael at the door of the tent. And Ishmael came to Yitzhak and seated himself opposite to him. And he took the bow and drew it, and put the arrow in it, and intended to slay Yitzhak. And Sarah saw the act which Ishmael desired to do to her son Yitzhak, and it grieved her exceedingly on account of her son. And she sent for Abraham, and she said to him, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for her son shall not be heir with my son. For thus did he seek to do unto him this day. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah, and he rose up early in the morning, and he took 12 loaves and a bottle of water which he gave to Hagar, and sent her away with her son. And Hagar went with her son to the wilderness, and they dwelt in the wilderness of Paran with the inhabitants of the wilderness. And Ishmael was an archer, and he dwelt in the wilderness a long time. And he and his mother afterward went to the land of Mitzrayim, and they dwelt there. And Hagar took a woman for her son from Mitzrayim, and her name was Meribah. And the woman of Ishmael conceived and bore 4 sons and 2 daughters. And Ishmael and his mother and his woman and children afterward went and returned to the wilderness. And they made themselves tents in the wilderness, in which they dwelt. And they continued to travel, and then to rest monthly and yearly. And Elohim gave Ishmael flocks and herds and tents on account of Abraham his father, and the man increased in cattle. And Ishmael dwelt in deserts and in tents, traveling and resting for a long time, and he did not see the face of his father. And in some time after, Abraham said to Sarah his woman, I will go and see my son Ishmael, for I have a desire to see him, for I have not seen him for a long time. And Abraham rode upon one of his camels to the wilderness to seek his son Ishmael, for he heard that he was dwelling in a tent in the wilderness with all belonging to him. And Abraham went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and he found the woman of Ishmael sitting in the tent with her children. And Ishmael, her man, and his mother were not with them. And Abraham asked the woman of Ishmael, saying, Where has Ishmael gone? And she said, He has gone to the field to hunt. And Abraham was still mounted upon the camel, for he would not get off to the ground, as he had sworn to his woman Sarah that he would not get off from the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's woman, My daughter, give me a little water that I may drink, for I am fatigued from the journey. And Ishmael's woman answered and said to Abraham, We have neither water nor bread. And she continued sitting in the tent and did not notice Abraham, neither did she ask him who he was. But she was beating her children in the tent, and she was cursing them. And she also cursed her man Ishmael and reproached him. And Abraham heard the words of Ishmael's woman to her children, and he was very angry and displeased. And Abraham called to the woman to come out to him from the tent, and the woman came and stood opposite to Abraham, for Abraham was still mounted upon the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's woman, When your man Ishmael returns home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistine came hither to seek you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing you were not here, he spoke unto me and said, When Ishmael your man returns, tell him thus did this man say, When you come home, put away this nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Abraham finished his instructions to the woman, and he returned and went off on the camel homeward. And after that Ishmael came from the chase, he and his mother, and returned to the tent. And his woman spoke these words to him. A very old man from the land of Tehilliym came to seek you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was. And seeing you were not at home, he said to me, When your man comes home, tell him, Thus says the old man, Put away the nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Ishmael heard the words of his woman, and he knew that it was his father, and that his woman did not honor him. And Ishmael understood his father's words, that he had spoken to his woman. And Ishmael hearkened to the voice of his father. And Ishmael cast off that woman, and she went away. And Ishmael afterward went to the land of Canaan, and he took another woman, and he brought her to his tent, to the place where he then dwelt. And at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go again and see Ishmael, my son, for I have not seen him for a long time. And he rode upon his camel and went to the wilderness. And he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and his woman came out of the tent, and she said, He is not here, my Adonai, for he has gone to hunt in the fields, and to feed the camels. And the woman said to Abraham, Turn in, my Adonai, into the tent, and eat a morsel of bread, for your soul must be wearied on account of the journey. And Abraham said to her, I will not stop, for I am in haste to continue my journey. But give me a little water to drink, for I have thirst. And the woman hastened and ran into the tent, and she brought out water and bread to Abraham, which she placed before him, and she urged him to eat. And he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted, and he blessed his son Ishmael. And he finished his meal, and he blessed Yahuwah. And he said to Ishmael's woman, When Ishmael comes home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistine came hither and asked after you, and you were not here. And I brought him out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me. When Ishmael your man comes home, say unto him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Abraham finished commanding the woman, and he rode off to his home to the land of the Philistine. And when Ishmael came to his tent, his woman went forth to meet him with joy and a cheerful heart. And she said to him, An old man came here from the land of the Pelishtim, and thus was his appearance. And he asked after you, and you were not here. So I brought out bread and water. And he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me. When Ishmael your man comes home, say to him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put away from the tent. Do not put it away from the tent. And Ishmael knew that it was his father, and that his woman had honored him. And Yahuwah blessed Ishmael. Chapter 22. And Ishmael then rose up and took his woman, and his children, and his cattle, and all belonging to him. And he journeyed from there, and he went to his father in the land of the Pelishtim. And Abraham related to Ishmael his son the transaction with the first woman that Ishmael took, according to what she did. And Ishmael and his children dwelt with Abraham many days in that land. And Abraham dwelt in the land of the Pelishtim a long time. And the days increased and reached 26 years. And after that, Abraham with his servants and all belonging to him went from the land of the Pelishtim and removed to a great distance. And they came near to Hebron, and they remained there. And the servants of Abraham dug wells of water. And Abraham and all belonging to him dwelt by the water. And the servants of Abimelech, king of the Pelishtim, heard the report that Abraham's servants had dug wells of water in the borders of the land. And they came and quarreled with the servants of Abraham. And they robbed them of the great well which they had dug. And Abimelech, king of the Pelishtim, heard of this affair. And he, with Pichol, the captain of his host, and 20 of his men, came to Abraham. And Abimelech spoke to Abraham concerning his servants. And Abraham rebuked Abimelech concerning the well of which his servants had robbed him. And Abimelech said to Abraham, As Yahuwah lives, who created the whole earth, I did not hear of the act which my servants did unto your servants until this day. And Abraham took 7 ewe lambs and gave them to Abimelech, saying, Take these, I pray you, from my hands, that it may be a testimony for me that I dug this well. And Abimelech took the 7 ewe lambs which Abraham had given to him, for he had also given him cattle and herds in abundance. And Abimelech swore to Abraham concerning the well. Therefore he called that well Beersheba, for there they both swore concerning it. And they both cut a covenant in Beersheba. And Abimelech rose up with Pichol, the captain of his host, and all his men. And they returned to the land of the Pelishtim. And Abraham and all belonging to him dwelt in Beersheba, and he was in that land a long time. And Abraham planted a large grove in Beersheba, and he made to it 4 gates, facing the 4 sides of the earth. And he planted a vineyard in it, so that if a traveler came to Abraham, he entered any gate which was in his road, and remained there, and ate and drank and satisfied himself, and then departed. For the house of Abraham was always open to the sons of men that passed and repassed, who came daily to eat and drink in the house of Abraham. And any man who had hunger and came to Abraham's house, Abraham would give him bread that he might eat and drink and be satisfied. And anyone that came naked to his house, he would clothe with garments as he might choose, and give him silver and gold, and make known to him Yahuwah, who had created him in the earth. This did Abraham all his life. And Abraham and his children, and all belonging to him, dwelt in Beersheba, and he pitched his tent as far as Hebron. And Abraham's brother Nachor, and his father, and all belonging to them, dwelt in Haran, for they did not come with Abraham to the land of Canaan. And children were born to Nachor, which Milcah, the daughter of Haran, and sister to Sarah, Abraham's woman, bore to him. And these are the names of those that were born to him: Uz, Buz, Kemuel, Kesed, Hazo, Pildash, Yidlaf, and Bethuel, being 8 sons. These are the children of Milcah, which she bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And Nahor had a concubine, and her name was Reumah. And she also bore to Nahor Zebach, Gashash, Takash, and Maacah, being 4 sons. And the children that were born to Nahor were 12 sons besides his daughters. And they also had children born to them in Haran. And the children of Uz, the firstborn of Nahor, were Abi, Hareph, Gadin, Melus, and Deborah, their sister. And the sons of Buz were Berachel, Naamath, Sheba, and Madunu. And the sons of Kemuel were Aram and Rekob. And the sons of Kesed were Anamlech, Meshai, Benon, and Iphi. And the sons of Chazo were Pildash, Machi, and Ophir. And the sons of Pildash were Arud, Hamom, Mered, and Molech. And the sons of Yildaf were Mushan, Sushan, and Mutsi. And the children of Bethuel were Zachar and Laban and their sister Rivkah. These are the families of the children of Nahor that were born to them in Haran. And Aram, the son of Kemuel, and Rekob, his brother, went away from Haran. And they found a valley in the land by the river Perath. And they built a city there. And they called the name of the city after the name of Pithor, the son of Aram. That is Aram Naharaim, unto this day. And the children of Kesed also went to dwell where they could find a place. And they went and they found a valley opposite to the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they there built themselves a city, and they called the name at the city Kesed, after the name of their father, that is the land, Kazima, unto this day. And the Kasedim dwelt in that land, and they were fruitful and multiplied exceedingly. And Terach, father of Nachor, and Abraham, went and took another woman in his old age, and her name was Pelilah. And she conceived and bore him a son, and he called his name Sova. And Terach lived 25 years after he begat Sova. And Terach died in that year, that is in the 35th year of the birth of Yitzhak, son of Abraham. And the days of Terach were 205 years, and he was buried in Haran. And Zova, the son of Terach, lived 30 years, and he begat Aram, Achlis, and Mirek. And Aram, son of Zova, son of Terach, had 3 women, and he begat 12 sons and 3 daughters. And Yahuwah gave to Aram, the son of Zova, riches and possessions, and abundance of cattle, and flocks and herds, and the man increased greatly. And Aram, the son of Zova, and his brother, and all his household, journeyed from Haran, and they went to dwell where they should find a place, for their property was too great to remain in Haran, for they could not stop in Haran together with their brethren, the children of Nachor. And Aram, the son of Zova, went with his brethren, and they found a valley at a distance toward the eastern country, and they dwelt there. And they also built a city there, and they called the name thereof Aram, after the name of their eldest brother, that is Aram Zova, to this day. And Yitzhak, the son of Abraham, was growing up in those days, and Abraham, his father, taught him the way of Yahuwah, to know Yahuwah, and Yahuwah was with him. And when Yitzhak was 37 years old, Yishmael, his brother, was going about with him in the tent. And Yishmael boasted of himself to Yitzhak, saying, I was 13 years old when Yahuwah spoke to my father to circumcise us, and I did according to the word of Yahuwah, which he spoke to my father. And I gave my soul unto Yahuwah, and I did not transgress his word, which he commanded my father. And Yitzhak answered Yishmael, saying, Why do you boast to me about this? About a little bit of your flesh which you did take from your body, concerning which Yahuwah commanded you? As Yahuwah lives, the Elohim of my father Abraham, if Yahuwah should say unto my father, Take now your son Yitzhak, and bring him up an offering before me, I would not refrain, but I would joyfully accede to it. And Yahuwah heard the word that Yitzhak spoke to Ishmael, and it seemed good in the sight of Yahuwah, and he thought to try Abraham in this matter. And the day arrived when the sons of Elohim came and placed themselves before Yahuwah. And Satan also came with the sons of Elohim before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, Whence come you? And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahuwah said to Satan, What is your word to me concerning all the children of the earth? And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, I have seen all the children of the earth who serve you, and remember you when they require anything from you. And when you give them the thing which they require from you, they sit at their ease and forsake you, and they remember you no more. Have you seen Abraham, the son of Terach, who at first had no children, and he served you, and erected altars to you wherever he came, and he brought up offerings upon them, and he proclaimed your name continually to all the children of the earth. And now that his son Yitzhak is born to him, he has forsaken you. He has made a great feast for all the inhabitants of the land, and Yahuwah he has forgotten. For amidst all that he has done, he brought you no offering, neither ascending smoke offering, nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat, of all that he killed on the day that his son was weaned. Even from the time of his son's birth till now, being 37 years, he built no altar before you, nor brought any offering to you, for he saw that you did give what he requested before you, and he therefore forsook you. And Yahuwah said to Satan, Have you thus considered my servant Abraham? For there is none like him upon earth, a perfect and an upright man before me, one that fears Elohim and avoids evil. As I live, were I to say unto him, Bring up Yitzhak, your son, before me, he would not withhold him from me. Much more if I told him to bring up an ascending smoke offering before me from his flock or herds. And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, Speak then now unto Abraham as you have said, and you will see whether he will not this day transgress and cast aside your words. Chapter 23. At that time the word of Yahuwah came to Abraham, and he said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said to him, Take now your son, your Yakid, whom you love, even Yitzhak, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there for an ascending smoke offering upon one of the mountains which shall be shown to you. For there will you see a cloud and the glory of Yahuwah. And Abraham said within himself, How shall I separate my son Yitzhak from Sarah his mother, in order to bring him up for an ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah? And Abraham came into the tent, and he sat before Sarah his woman, and he spoke these words to her, My son Yitzhak is grown up, and he has not for some time studied the service of his Elohim. Now, tomorrow I will go and bring him to Shem, and Eber his son, and there he will learn the ways of Yahuwah. For they will teach him to know Yahuwah, as well as to know that when he prays continually before Yahuwah, he will answer him. Therefore, there he will know the way of serving Yahuwah Elohayu. And Sarah said, You have spoken well. Go, my Adonai, and do unto him as you have said. But remove him not at a great distance from me, neither let him remain there too long, for my soul is bound within his soul. And Abraham said unto Sarah, My daughter, let us pray to Yahuwah Eloheinu, that he may do good with us. And Sarah took her son Yitzhak, and he abode all that night with her. And she kissed and embraced him, and gave him instructions till morning. And she said to him, O my son, how can my soul separate itself from you? And she still kissed him and embraced him. And she gave Abraham instructions concerning him. And Sarah said to Abraham, O Adonai, I pray you take heed of your son, and place your eyes over him. For I have no other son nor daughter, but him. Oh, forsake him not. If he is hungry, give him bread, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Do not let him go on foot, neither let him sit in the sun, neither let him go by himself in the road, neither force him from whatsoever he may desire, but do unto him as he may say to you. And Sarah wept bitterly the whole night on account of Yitzhak, and she gave him instructions till morning. And in the morning, Sarah selected a very fine and beautiful garment from those garments which she had in the house, that Abimelech had given to her. And she dressed Yitzhak, her son, therewith, and she put a turban upon his head, and she enclosed a precious stone in the top of the turban, and she gave them provision for the road, and they went forth. And Yitzhak went with his father Abraham, and some of their servants accompanied them to see them off the road. And Sarah went out with them, and she accompanied them upon the road to see them off. And they said to her, Return to the tent. And when Sarah heard the words of her son Yitzhak, she wept bitterly. And Abraham, her man, wept with her. And their son wept with them a great weeping. Also, those who went with them wept greatly. And Sarah caught hold of her son Yitzhak, and she held him in her arms. And she embraced him and continued to weep with him. And Sarah said, Who knows if after this day I shall ever see you again? And they still wept together, Abraham, Sarah, and Yitzhak, and all those that accompanied them on the road wept with them. And Sarah afterward turned away from her son, weeping bitterly, and all her men servants and maidservants returned with her to the tent. And Abraham went with Yitzhak his son to bring him up as an offering before Yahuwah, as he had commanded him. And Abraham took two of his young men with him, Ishmael the son of Hagar, and Eliezer his servant. And they went together with them. And while they were walking in the road, the young men spoke these words to themselves. And Ishmael said to Eliezer, Now my father Abraham is going with Yitzhak to bring him up for an ascending smoke offering to Yahuwah, as he commanded him. Now when he returns, he will give unto me all that he possesses to inherit after him, for I am his firstborn. And Eliezer answered Ishmael and said, Surely Abraham did cast you away with your mother, and swear that you should not inherit anything of all he possesses, and to whom he will give all that he has, with all his treasures, but unto me, his servant, who has been faithful in his house, who has served him night and day, and has done all that he has desired me. To me will he bequeath at his death all that he possesses. And while Abraham was proceeding with his son Yitzhak along the road, Satan came and appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man, humble, and of a contrite ruach. And he approached Abraham and said to him, Are you silly or brutish that you go to do this thing this day to your Yachid? For Elohim gave you a son in your latter days, in your old age, and you will go and slaughter him this day because he committed no violence? And will you cause the soul of your Yachid to perish from the earth? Do you not know and understand that this thing cannot be from Yahuwah? For Yahuwah cannot do unto man such evil upon earth to say to him, Go slaughter your child. And Abraham heard this and knew that it was the word of Satan who endeavored to draw him aside from the way of Yahuwah. But Abraham would not hearken to the voice of Satan, and Abraham rebuked him so that he went away. And Satan returned and came to Yitzhak, and he appeared unto Yitzhak in the figure of a young man, calmly and well favored. And he approached Yitzhak and said unto him, Do you not know and understand that your old silly father brings you to the slaughter this day for naught? Now therefore, my son, do not listen nor attend to him, for he is a silly old man. And let not your precious soul and beautiful figure be lost from the earth. And Yitzhak heard this, and said unto Abraham, Have you heard, my father, that which this man has spoken? Even thus he has spoken. And Abraham answered his son Yitzhak, and said to him, Take heed of him, and do not listen to his words, nor attend to him, for he is Satan, endeavoring to draw us aside this day from the commands of Elohim." And Abraham still rebuked Satan, and Satan went from them. And seeing he could not prevail over them, he hid himself from them. And he went and passed before them in the road. And he transformed himself to a large brook of water in the road. And Abraham and Abraham and Yitzhak and his 2 men reached that place, and they saw a brook large and powerful as the mighty waters. And they entered the brook and passed through it. And the waters at first reached their legs. And they went deeper in the brook, and the waters reached up to their necks. And they were all terrified on account of the water. And while they were going over the brook, Abraham recognized that place, and he knew that there was no water there before. And Abraham said to his son Yitzhak, "I know this place in which there was no brook nor water. Now, therefore, it is this Satan who does all this to us, to draw us aside this day from the commands of Elohim." And Abraham rebuked him and said unto him, "Yahuwah rebuke you, O Satan. Begone from us, for we go by the commands of Elohim." And Satan was terrified at the voice of Abraham, and he went away from them. And the place again became dry land as it was at first. And Abraham went with Yitzhak toward the place that Elohim had told him. And on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place at a distance which Elohim had told him of. And a pillar of fire appeared to him that reached from the earth to heaven, and a cloud of glory upon the mountain, and the glory of Yahuwah was seen in the cloud. And Abraham said to Yitzhak, "My son, do you see in that mountain, which we perceive at a distance, that which I see upon it?" And Yitzhak answered and said unto his father, "I see, and lo, a pillar of fire and a cloud, and the glory of Yahuwah is seen upon the cloud." And Abraham knew that his son Yitzhak was accepted before Yahuwah for an ascending smoke offering. And Abraham said unto Eliezer and unto Ishmael his son, "Do you also see that which we see upon the mountain, which is at a distance?" And they answered and said, "We see nothing more than like the other mountains of the earth." And Abraham knew that they were not accepted before Yahuwah to go with them. And Abraham said to them, "Abide you here with the ass, while I and Yitzhak my son will go to yonder mount and worship there before Yahuwah, and then return to you." And Eliezer and Ishmael remained in that place, as Abraham had commanded. And Abraham took wood for an ascending smoke offering and placed it upon his son Yitzhak. And he took the fire and the knife, and they both went to that place. And when they were going along, Yitzhak said to his father, "Behold, I see here the fire and wood. And where then is the lamb that is to be ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah?" And Abraham answered his son Yitzhak, saying, "Yahuwah has made choice of you, my son, to be a perfect ascending smoke offering instead of the lamb." And Yitzhak said unto his father, "I will do all that Yahuwah spoke to you with joy and cheerfulness of heart." And Abraham again said unto Yitzhak his son, "Is there in your heart any thought or counsel concerning this, which is not proper? Tell me, my son, I pray you. O my son, conceal it not from me." And Yitzhak answered his father Abraham and said unto him, "O my father, as Yahuwah lives and as your soul lives, there is nothing in my heart to cause me to deviate either to the right or to the left from the word that he has spoken to you. Neither limb nor muscle has moved or stirred at this, nor is there in my heart any thought or evil counsel concerning this. But I am of joyful and cheerful heart in this matter, and I say, Blessed is Yahuwah who has this day chosen me to be an ascending smoke offering before him." And Abraham greatly rejoiced at the words of Yitzhak, and they went on and came together to that place that Yahuwah had spoken of. And Abraham approached to build the altar in that place, and Abraham was weeping. And Yitzhak took stones and mortar until they had finished the building the altar. And Abraham took the wood and placed it in order upon the altar which he had built. And he took his son Yitzhak and bound him in order to place him upon the wood which was upon the altar, to slay him for an ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah. And Yitzhak said to his father, Bind me securely and then place me upon the altar, lest I should turn and move and break loose from the force of the knife upon my flesh, and thereby profane the ascending smoke offering. And Abraham did so. And Yitzhak still said to his father, O my father, when you shall have slain me and burnt me for an offering, take with you that which shall remain of my ashes to bring to Sarah my mother, and say to her, This is the sweet smelling savor of Yitzhak. But do not tell her this if she should sit near a well or upon any high place, lest she should cast her soul after me and die. And Abraham heard the words of Yitzhak, and he lifted up his voice and wept when Yitzhak spoke these words. And Abraham's tears gushed down upon Yitzhak, his son. And Yitzhak wept bitterly, and he said to his father, Hasten you, O my father, and do with me the will of Yahuwah Eloheinu, as he has commanded you. And the hearts of Abraham and Yitzhak rejoiced at this thing which Yahuwah had commanded them. But the eye wept bitterly, while the heart rejoiced. And Abraham bound his son Yitzhak, and placed him on the altar upon the wood. And Yitzhak stretched forth his neck upon the altar before his father. And Abraham stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay his son, as an ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah. At that time the angels of mercy came before Yahuwah and spoke to him concerning Yitzhak, saying, O Yahuwah, you are a merciful and compassionate king over all that you have created in heaven and in earth, and you support them all. Give therefore ransom and redemption instead of your servant Yitzhak, and pity and have compassion upon Abraham and Yitzhak his son, who are this day performing your commands. Have you seen, O Yahuwah, how Yitzhak, the son of Abraham, your servant, is bound down to the slaughter like an animal? Now, therefore, let your pity be roused for them, O Yahuwah. At that time, Yahuwah appeared unto Abraham and called to him from heaven and said unto him, Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do you anything unto him. For now I know that you fear Elohim in performing this act, and in not withholding your son, your Yachid, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a ram was caught in a thicket by his horns. That was the ram which Yahuwah Elohim had created in the earth, in the day that he made earth and heaven. For Yahuwah had prepared this ram from that day to be an ascending smoke offering instead of Yitzhak. And this ram was advancing to Abraham when Satan caught hold of him and entangled his horns in the thicket, that he might not advance to Abraham, in order that Abraham might slay his son. And Abraham, seeing the ram advancing to him, and Satan withholding him, fetched him and brought him before the altar. And he loosened his son Yitzhak from his binding, and he put the ram in his stead. And Abraham killed the ram upon the altar, and brought it up as an offering in the place of his son Yitzhak. And Abraham sprinkled some of the blood of the ram upon the altar, and he exclaimed and said, This is in the place of my son, and may this be considered this day as the blood of my son before Yahuwah. And all that Abraham did on this occasion by the altar, he would exclaim and say, This is in the room of my son, and may it this day be considered before Yahuwah in the place of my son. And Abraham finished the whole of the service by the altar, and the service was accepted before Yahuwah, and was accounted as if it had been Yitzhak. And Yahuwah blessed Abraham and his seed on that day. And Satan went to Sarah, and he appeared to her in the figure of an old man, very humble and meek. And Abraham was yet engaged in the ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah. And he said unto her, Do you not know all the work that Abraham has made with your Yachid this day? For he took Yitzhak and built an altar and killed him, brought him up as a sacrifice upon the altar. And Yitzhak cried and wept before his father. But he looked not at him, neither did he have compassion over him. And Satan repeated these words, and he went away from her. And Sarah heard all the words of Satan. And she imagined him to be an old man from amongst the sons of men who had been with her son, and had come and told her these things. And Sarah lifted up her voice and wept, and cried out bitterly on account of her son. And she threw herself upon the ground, and she cast dust upon her head. And she said, "O my son, Yitzhak, my son, oh that I had this day died instead of you." And she continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for you, O my son Yitzhak, oh that I had died this day in your stead." And she still continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for you after that I have reared you and have brought you up. Now my joy is turned into mourning over you. I that had a longing for you and cried and prayed to Elohim till I bore you at 90 years old. And now have you served this day for the knife and the fire to be made an offering. But I console myself with you, my son, in its beginning the word of Yahuwah, for you did perform the command of your Elohim. For who can transgress the word of our Elohim, in whose hands is the soul of every living creature? You are just, O Yahuwah Eloheinu, for all your works are good and righteous. For I also am rejoiced with your word, which you did command. And while my eye weeps bitterly, my heart rejoices." And Sarah laid her head upon the bosom of one of her handmaids, and she became as still as a stone. She afterward rose up and went about making inquiries till she came to Hebron. And she inquired of all those whom she met walking in the road, and no one could tell her what had happened to her son. And she came with her maidservants and menservants to Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron. And she asked concerning her son, and she remained there while she sent some of her servants to seek where Abraham had gone with Yitzhak. They went to seek him in the house of Shem and Eber, and they could not find him. And they sought throughout the land, and he was not there. And behold, Satan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man, and he came and stood before her. And he said unto her, "I spoke falsely unto you, for Abraham did not kill his son, and he is not dead." And when she heard the word, her joy was so exceedingly violent on account of her son, that her soul went out through joy. She died, and was gathered to her people. And when Abraham had finished his service, he returned with his son Yitzhak to his young men. And they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and they came home. And Abraham sought Sarah, and could not find her. And he made inquiries concerning her, and they said unto him, "She went as far as Hebron to seek you both where you had gone." For thus was she informed. And Abraham and Yitzhak went to her to Hebron, and when they found that she was dead, they lifted up their voices and wept bitterly over her. And Yitzhak fell upon his mother's face and wept over her, and he said, "O my mother, how have you left me? And where have you gone? Oh, how have you left me?" And Abraham and Yitzhak wept greatly, and all their servants wept with them on account of Sarah, and they mourned over her a great and heavy mourning. Chapter 24. And the life of Sarah was 127 years, and Sarah died. And Abraham rose up from before his dead to seek a burial place to bury his woman Sarah. And he went and spoke to the children of Heth, the inhabitants of the land, saying, "I am a stranger and a sojourner with you in your land. Give me a possession of a burial place in your land, that I may bury my dead from before me." And the children of Heth said unto Abraham, "Behold, the land is before you, in the choice of your sepulchres. bury your dead, for no man shall withhold you from burying your dead. And Abraham said unto them, If you are agreeable to this, go and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zochar, requesting that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which is in the end of his field, and I will purchase it of him for whatsoever he desires for it. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and they went and called for him, and he came before Abraham. And Ephron said unto Abraham, Behold, all you require your servant will do. And Abraham said, No, but I will buy the cave and the field which you have for value, in order that it may be for a possession of a burial place forever. And Ephron answered and said, Behold, the field and the cave are before you. Give whatsoever you desire. And Abraham said, Only at full value will I buy it from your hand, and from the hands of those that go in at the gate of your city, and from the hand of your seed forever. And Ephron and all his brethren heard this, and Abraham weighed to Ephron 400 shekels of silver in the hands of Ephron, and in the hands of all his brethren. And Abraham wrote this transaction, and he wrote it and testified it with 4 witnesses. And these are the names of the witnesses: Amigal, son of Abishna, the Hittite; Adikoram, son of Ashunach, the Hivi; Avdon, son of Ahiram, the Gimri; Bakdil, the son of Abudish, the Zidoni. And Abraham took the Cepher of the purchase and placed it in his treasures. And these are the words that Abraham wrote in the Cepher, namely, that the cave and the field Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite, and from his seed, and from those that go out of his city, and from their seed forever, are to be a purchase to Abraham and to his seed, and to those that go forth from his loins, for a possession of a burial place forever. And he put a signet to it and testified it with witnesses. And the field and the cave that was in it, and all that place, were made sure unto Abraham and unto his seed after him. From the children of Heth, behold, it is before Mamre in Hebron, which is in the field of Canaan, which is in the land of Canaan. And after this, Abraham buried his woman Sarah there. And that place and all its boundary became to Abraham and unto his seed for possession of a burial place. And Abraham buried Sarah with pomp as observed at the interment of kings. And she was buried in the very fine and beautiful garments. And at her coffin was Shem, his sons Eber and Abimelech, together with Anar, Ashkol, and Mamre. And all the grandees of the land followed her coffin. And the days of Sarah were 127 years, and she died. And Abraham made a great and heavy mourning, and he performed the rite of mourning for 7 days. And all the inhabitants of the land comforted Abraham and Yitzhak his son on account of Sarah. And when the days of their mourning passed by, Abraham sent away his son Yitzhak, and he went to the house of Shem and Eber to learn the ways of Yahuwah and his instructions. And Abraham remained there 3 years. At that time, Abraham rose up with all his servants, and they went and returned homeward to Beersheba. And Abraham and all his servants remained in Beersheba. And at the revolution of the year, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, died in that year. He was 193 years old at his death. And Abraham went with his people to the land of the Philistines, and they comforted the whole household and all his servants. And he then turned and went home. And it was after the death of Abimelech that the people of Gerar took Ben-Malich, his son, and he was only 12 years old, and they made him lie in the place of his father, and they called his name Abimelech, after the name of his father, for thus was it their custom to do in Gerar. And Abimelech reigned instead of Abimelech his father, and he sat upon his throne. And Lot, the son of Haran, also died in those days, in the 39th year of the life of Yitzhak, and all the days that Lot lived were 140 years, and he died. And these are the children of Lot that were born to him by his daughters. The name of the firstborn was Moab, and the name of the second was Ben-Ami. And the two sons of Lot went and took themselves women from the land of Canaan, and they bore children to them. And the children of Moab were Ed, Maon, Tarsus, and Canville, 4 sons. These are fathers to the children of Moab unto this day. And all the families of the children of Lot went to dwell wherever they should light upon, for they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And they went and built cities in the land where they dwelt. And they called the names of the cities which they built after their own names. And Nahor, the son of Terach, brother to Abraham, died in those days in the 40th year of the life of Yitzhak. And all the days of Nahor were 172 years. And he died and was buried in Haran. And when Abraham heard that his brother was dead, he grieved sadly, and he mourned over his brother for many days. And Abraham called for Eliezer, his head servant, to give him orders concerning his house. And he came and stood before him. And Abraham said to him, Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death, for I am advanced in days. Now, therefore, rise up, go forth, and do not take a woman for my son, from this place, and from this land, from the daughters of the Canaanim, amongst whom we dwell. But go to my land, and to my birthplace, and take from thence a woman for my son. And Yahuwah Elohim of heaven and earth, who took me from my father's house, and brought me to this place, and said unto me, To your seed will I give this land for an inheritance forever. He will send his angel before you, and prosper your way, that you may obtain a woman for my son, from my family, and from my father's house. And the servant answered his Adonai Abraham, and said, Behold, I go to your birthplace and to your father's house, and take a woman for your son from there. But if the woman be not willing to follow me to this land, shall I take your son back to the land of your birthplace? And Abraham said unto him, Take heed that you bring not my son hither again. For Yahuwah before whom I have walked, he will send his angel before you, and prosper your way. And Eliezer did as Abraham ordered him. And Eliezer swore unto Abraham his Adonai upon this matter. And Eliezer rose up and took 10 camels of the camels of his Adonai, and 10 men from his Adonai's servants with him. And they rose up and went to Haran, the city of Abraham and Nahor, in order to fetch a woman for Yitzhak, the son of Abraham. And while they were gone, Abraham sent to the house of Shem and Eber, and they brought from thence his son Yitzhak. And Yitzhak came home to his father's house, to Beersheba, while Eliezer and his men came to Haran. And they stopped in the city by the watering place. And he made his camels to kneel down by the water, and they remained there. And Eliezer, Abraham's servant, prayed and said, O Adonai, Elohim of Abraham, send me, I pray you, good speed this day, and show kindness unto my Adonai, that you shall appoint this day a woman for my Adonai's son from his family. And Yahuwah hearkened to the voice of Eliezer, for the sake of his servant Abraham. And he happened to meet with the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the son of Nahor, brother to Abraham. And Eliezer came to her house. And Eliezer related to them all his concerns, and that he was Abraham's servant. And they greatly rejoiced at him. And they all blessed Yahuwah who brought this thing about. And they gave him Rivkah, the daughter of Bethuel, for a woman for Yitzhak. And the young woman was of very comely appearance. She was a virgin. And Rivkah was 10 years old in those days. And Bethuel and Laban, his children, made a feast on that night. And Eliezer and his men came and ate and drank and rejoiced there on that night. And Eliezer rose up in the morning, he and the men that were with him, and he called to the whole household of Bethuel, saying, Send me away that I may go to my Adonai. And they rose up and sent away Ribkah and her nurse Deborah, the daughter of Uz. And they gave her silver and gold, men servants and maidservants, and they blessed her. And they sent Eliezer away with his men. And the servants took Ribkah, and he went and returned to his Adonai, to the land of Canaan. And Yitzhak took Ribkah, and she became his woman, and he brought her into the tent. And Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Ribkah, and the daughter of his uncle Bethuel, for a woman. Chapter 25. And it was at that time that Abraham again took a woman in his old age, and her name was Keturah, from the land of Canaan. And she bore unto him Zimran, Yokshan, Medan, Midian, Yishbak, and Shuach, being 6 sons. And the children of Zimran were Abihen, Molik, and Narim. And the sons of Yokshan were Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Medan were Amida, Joab, Goshi, Elisha, and Nothhak. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. And the sons of Yishbak were Makiro, Beyudua, and Tetor. And the sons of Shuach were Bildad, Mamdad, Munan, and Miban. All these are the families of the children of Keturah, the Canaanite woman, which she bore unto Abraham the Hebrew. And Abraham sent all these away, and he gave them gifts, and they went away from his son Yitzhak to dwell wherever they should find a place. And all these went to the mountain at the east, and they built themselves 6 cities in which they dwelt unto this day. But the children of Sheba and Dedan, children of Yokshan, with their children, did not dwell with their brethren in their cities. And they journeyed and encamped in the countries and wilderness until this day. And the children of Midian, son of Abraham, went to the east of the land of Cush, and they there found a large valley in the eastern country. And they remained there and built a city, and they dwelt therein. That is the land of Midian unto this day. And Midian dwelt in the city which he built, he and his 5 sons, and all belonging to him. And these are the names of the sons of Midian, according to their names in their cities: Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. And the sons of Ephah were Methach, Meshar, Abi, and Zonoah. And the sons of Epher were Ephron, Zur, Aliron, and Medin. And the sons of Hanok were Reuel, Requim, Azi, Aloshub, and Alad. And the sons of Abida were Hori, Melud, Keruri, Molki. The sons of Eldaa were Mikir, and Reba, and Malkiahu, and Gabol. These are the names of the Midianim according to their families. And afterward the families of Midian spread throughout the land of Midian. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the son Abraham, whom Hagar, Sarah's handmaid, bore unto Abraham. And Ishmael took a woman from the land of Mitzrayim, and her name was Ribah. The same is Meribah. And Ribah bore unto Ishmael Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, and their sister Basmath. And Ishmael cast away his woman Ribah, and she went from him and returned to Mitzrayim, to the house of her father, and she dwelt there. For she had been very bad in the sight of Ishmael, and in the sight of his father Abraham. And Ishmael afterward took a woman from the land of Canaan, and her name was Malchuth, and she bore unto him Nishma, Duma, Masa, Hadad, Tema, Yetur, Naphish, and Kedma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, being 12 princes according to their nations. And the families of Ishmael afterward spread forth, and Ishmael took his children and all the property that he had gained together with the souls of his household, and all belonging to him, and they went to dwell where they should find a place. And they went and dwelt near the wilderness of Paran, and their dwelling was from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Mitzrayim, as you come toward Ashur. And Ishmael and his sons dwelt in the land, and they had children born to them, and they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And these are the names of the sons of Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael: Mend, Send, Meon. And the sons of Kedar were Alion, Kezem, Hamad, and Eli. And the sons of Adbiel were Hamad and Yavin. And the sons of Mibsam were Obadayu, Ebed, Melech, and Yeush. These are the families of the children of Ribha, the woman of Ishmael. And the sons of Mishma, the son of Ishmael, were Shammua, Zacharion, and Obed. And the sons of Duma were Kezed, Eli, Mahmad, and Ahmed. And the sons of Massa were Melon, Mula, and Abidadon. And the sons of Hadad were Azur, Minzar, and Ebed Melech. And the sons of Tema were Seir, Sedon, and Yakol. And the sons of Yetur were Merith, Yaish, Alio, and Pachos. The sons of Naphish were Ebed Tamed, Abi Asaph, and Mir. And the sons of Kedemah were Caliph, Takti, and Omir. These were the children of Malchuth, the woman of Ishmael, according to their families. All these are the families of Ishmael according to their generations, and they dwelt in those lands wherein they had built themselves cities unto this day. And Rivkah, the daughter of Bethuel, the woman of Abraham's son Yitzchak, was barren in those days. She had no offspring. And Yitzchak dwelt with his father in the land of Canaan. And Yahuwah was with Yitzchak, and Arephasaad, the son of Shem, the son of Noach, died in those days, in the 48th year of the life of Yitzchak. And all the days that Arephasaad lived were 438 years, and he died. The end of chapter 25. Psalms, Tehilliym, chapter 68. To the chief musician, a mizmor or song of David. Let Elohim arise, let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melts before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of Elohim. But let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before Elohim. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto Elohim, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rides upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is Elohim in his holy habitation. Elohim sets the solitary in families. He brings out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. O Elohim, when you went forth before your people, when you did march through the wilderness, Selah, the earth shook. The heavens also dropped at the presence of Elohim. Even Sinai itself was moved at the presence of Elohim, the Eloi of Yasharel. You, O Elohim, did send a plentiful rain, whereby you did confirm your inheritance when it was weary. Your assembly has dwelt therein. You, O Elohim, have prepared of your goodness for the poor. Adonai gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. Though you have lean among the pots, yet shall you be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When El Shaddai scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Salma. The hill of Elohim is as the hill of Bashan. a high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap you, you high hills? This is the hill which Elohim desires to dwell in. Yea, Yahuwah will dwell in it forever. The chariots of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Adonai is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. You have ascended on high. You have led captivity captive. You have received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that Yah Elohim might dwell among them. Blessed be Adonai, who daily loads us with benefits, even the El of our deliverance. Selah. He that is our Elohim is the El of deliverance. And unto Yahuwah Adonai belong the issues from death. But Elohim shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such one as goes on still in his transgressions. Adonai said, I will bring again from Bashan. I will bring my people again from the depths of the sea, that your foot may be dipped in the blood of your enemies, and the tongue of your dogs in the same. They have seen your goings, O Elohim, even the goings of my El, my king, in the sanctuary. The singers went before, the players on instruments followed after. Among them were the damsels playing with timbrels. Bless you, Elohim, in the assemblies, even Adonai, from the fountain of Yasharel. There is little Benjamin with their ruler, the princes of Yehuda and their council, the princes of Zebulun and the princes of Naphtali. Your Elohim has commanded your strength. Strengthen, O Elohim, that which you have wrought for us. Because of your temple at Jerusalem shall kings bring presents unto you. Rebuke the company of spearmen, the multitude of the bulls, with the calves of the people, till everyone submits himself with pieces of silver. Scatter you the people that delight in war. Princes shall come out of Mitzrayim. Cush shall soon stretch out her hands unto Elohim. Sing unto Elohim, you kingdoms of the earth. O sing praises unto Adonai, Selah. To him that rides upon the heavens of heavens, which were of old. Lo, he sends out his voice, and that a mighty voice. Ascribe strength unto Elohim. His excellency is over Yasharel, and his strength is in the clouds. O Elohim, you are terrible out of your holy places. The El of Yasharel is he that gives strength and power unto his people. Blessed be Elohim. Hallelujah. Blessed be Elohim. Blessed is his name, Yahuwah Most High. Thank you. In the name of the Son, Yahusha HaMashiach, who is the path to the Father, and in the Holy Spirit that guides us, fills us with discernment and obedience and courage. We are several hours away from the Sabbath, the Shabbat. Remember to keep the day set apart. That's what holy means. That's what sanctified means. Set apart. That is the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day, the Shabbat. May it be a peaceful and restful Shabbat for you. And I thank you and I appreciate this time that the Father has given me to read the Word. And I pray that it is an honor to Him and that is a blessing to you. Continue to study, stay in the Word, stay strong in the Word, and ask to be filled with the Holy Spirit for obedience and discernment and courage and love and patience. He is long suffering, and we must be like his Son, Yahusha HaMashiach. Thank you, and I will look forward to the next reading. I'll see you then. Shabbat Shalom.